Good morning everyone. Welcome to the video tutorial of class 6 science. So students, in our last video we have discussed about chapter number 3, that is fiber to fabric. Now here in this video we will discuss chapter number 4, that is sorting material into groups. So this is the chapter number 4 of your NCERT book. Okay. So before starting this chapter, we must know that what are objects and what are materials. Before starting this chapter, it is very important to know that what are objects and what are materials. So can you define objects and materials? Alright. So as we know that food is made up of one or two ingredients or more than two ingredients, so in the similar manner object is also made up of one or two materials or more than two materials. Okay, so basically we can say that an object is a thing that is made of one or more material. An object is made up of one material or it may be made up of more than one material. Okay, so how can we define object? An object is a thing that is made of one or more materials. If you look around, you will find yourself surrounded by different objects like table, chair, blackboard, chalk, books, notebooks, pen, pencil, eraser, duster, bottles, containers, almirahs, fans, AC, utensils, bags, purses, all these are the objects. Similarly, sofa, fridge, TV, clothes, shoes, candle, matchbox, computers, laptop, mobiles, toys, bat, ball, mirror, doors, cars, scooters, bicycle, all these are the objects and we are surrounded by these objects. Okay, so we can say that we are surrounded by a variety of objects. I have already told you that an object could be made up of one material or an object could be made up of many materials. So it could be made up of more than one material. So let's take few examples. So what you can see here is this is a chair and this is made up of wood. So this chair is made up of only one material, that is wood. And this is a pencil. This pencil is made up of rubber, metal, wood and graphite. So this pencil or this object is made up of more than one material. Okay, this is made up of four materials. Okay, graphite, wood, metal and rubber. So the chair is made up of only one material, that is wood, and the pencil is made up of four materials, that are rubber, metal, wood and graphite. So here we can conclude that an object could be made up of one material or more than one material. So I hope you have completely understood that what are objects and what are materials and what is the difference between these two. Okay, here the pencil is an object and rubber, metal, wood and graphite are the materials. So pencil is an object and wood, metal, graphite and rubber, these are the materials. So I hope you have completely understood the difference between the two. Okay, so now we need to know that object could be made up of large variety of materials. For example, table, chair could be made up of wood, plastic or iron. Toys could be made up of wood, plastic or paper. Shoes could be made up of leather or it could be made up of plastic also. Clothes could be made up of cotton, silk, polyester or nylon. Tumbler could be made up of plastic or glass. Okay. In the similar manner, utensils could be made up of plastic, iron, aluminium or steel. And pen could be made up of plastic or metal. The other thing which you need to understand is a given material could be used to make a large number of objects. For example, wood could be used to make chair, table, bed, door, plow, bullock cart or boat. Similarly, paper could be used to make books, calendars, newspapers, magazines and paper bags. Leather could be used to make bags, shoes and jackets. Plastic could be used to make pencil box, toys, table, chair, containers, buckets, pipes. Similarly, cotton could be used to make clothes, bed sheets, curtains. Steel could be used to make vehicles, utensils, and glass could be used to make mirror, beakers or test tubes. Now we know that there are variety of materials and variety of materials could be used to make different objects. But how can we decide that a particular material is used to make a particular object? How can we decide that why a window is always made of glass? Why a cup is made of plastic or clay and not of cloth? Why a chair or table is made up of wood or plastic and not with paper? The answer is very simple. Based on properties of material, they are used for making different objects. For example, a coffee mug is always made up of clay or glass material, and it could not be made up of cloth. Okay, and if we try to make this coffee mug with cloth, so what will happen? This coffee mug will not be able to hold the liquid. Okay, so that is why the cup which is made up of cloth is useless, because it is used to hold the liquid, and the cup which is made up of clay or glass material is only able to hold the liquid, and the cup which is made up of cloth material, that will not be able to hold the liquid. Similarly, the windows are always made up of glass, so that we can also see outside if they are closed. Okay, so a particular material is used to make a particular object. Okay, and how can we decide that which material is used to make which object? It is completely depend on the properties of the material. It is completely based on the properties of the material. Okay, there are so many properties of material, like its appearance, hardness, its solubility, whether it is soluble or insoluble in water, whether it floats or sink in water, and its transparency. So we will discuss all these properties one by one. Okay, so the first property is its appearance. So the first property is its appearance. Appearance is basically how a material looks. Okay, so based on the appearance, the materials are classified into shiny and non-shiny, or lustrous and non-lustrous. Okay, so if we talk about metals like gold, silver, diamond, iron, copper, aluminium, these metals are very shiny. Whereas if we talk about wood and plastic, so they are non-shiny and they are dull. Okay, so these are non-shiny materials and these are shiny materials. So most of the metals are lustrous. That is why they are used to make jewelry like gold and silver, and diamond also. They are very lustrous. That is why they are used to make jewelries. Okay, and brass is used to make decorative articles because it is also a lustrous metal. Okay, but when these metal has been exposed to air and moisture for a long time, it gets a dull appearance. okay, and it loses most of its shine and brightness, okay. And these metals lose their shine or brightness when they are exposed to layer, and moisture forms a thin layer of oxide on their surface. So then we say that the metal surface has undergone corrosion. And if we rub the dull surface of a metal object with sandpaper, so what will happen? The outer corroded layer is removed and the metal object becomes shiny and bright once again. We can also see whether a given material is shining or not by breaking the material into two or more pieces. So this is the first property, that is appearance. Now the next property is hardness or softness of material. Now based on the property of hardness, the materials are classified as hard and soft material. So the materials which are difficult to compress or scratch are classified as hard materials. For example, iron, wood, stone and glass. These are called the hard materials. Whereas the materials that can be compressed or stretched easily, that are known as soft materials. For example, cotton, sponge, rubber, wool, etc. All these are soft materials. That is why the bed is always made up of wood or plastic material, because its role is to sustain the load of the person who is sitting or lying on it, okay, who is sleeping on the bed. The bed sustain the load of that person. That is why the wood or metal metal or plastic is used to make the bed, whereas the pillows and mattresses are made up of cotton material, because they are used for sleeping purpose, okay. Now the next property is its solubility. Now based on the property of solubility, the materials are classified as soluble material or insoluble material, or we can say that soluble substances or insoluble substances. So first is soluble substances. Substances that completely disappear or dissolve in water are soluble substances, okay. Those which are soluble in water, for example, salt, sugar, honey, vinegar, all these are soluble in water, okay. So these are soluble substances. Whereas the substances that do not mix with water and do not disappear even after we stir for long time, for example, sand and soil. If we try to mix soil and water, so what will happen? These soil or this sand settle down at the bottom of the glass of the water, okay, and it will not mix in water. Similarly, if we try to mix oil in water, so what will happen? Oil will float over the water and it will not mix in water, because both the sand and soil are insoluble in water. So here we have a list of materials that are soluble and insoluble in water. For example, sugar, salt, vinegar, lemon juice and oxygen. These are soluble in water. Whereas sand, chalk powder, sawdust, mustard oil and coconut oil, kerosene, these are insoluble in water. Okay. So the soluble materials completely dissolve in water like this, okay. For example, if we try to mix lemon juice in water, so it will completely mix in water, whereas the insoluble material does not dissolve in water and form a separate layer on the surface of water, like oil. If we try to mix the oil in water, so what will happen, it will form a layer on the surface of water like this, and it will not dissolve in water. It means it is insoluble in water. So this is about the solubility. Okay, now the next is whether the material floats or sink in water. So our next property is whether the material floats or sink in water. Okay, so the objects which are denser than water sink, whereas the objects which are less denser than water will float on water. Okay, so you must have seen that if we put plastic ball, rubber, paper boat, leaves, twigs, balloon or oil in water, so what will happen? It will float in water. Whereas if we put sand, stone or coins in water, so they will sink in water. Okay, they always sink in water. Why? Due to the density. So here we can say that the objects which have more density than water will sink in water, whereas the objects which have less density than water will float on water. Okay. So this means that the density of sand, stone and coins is higher than water, whereas the density of plastic bottle, a rubber ball, a paper boat, leaves, twigs, balloon, oil is less than water. So the last property is transparency. Okay, so based on the transparency, the materials are divided into transparent, opaque and translucent objects. Okay, so those substances or materials through which things can be seen are known as transparent objects or transparent substances. For example, glass, water, air and some plastics. Okay, and the materials through which we are not able to see, that are known as opaque objects or opaque materials. For example, wood, metals, plastic, cardboard, wall, tree, all these are opaque objects or opaque materials. Okay, now the next is the materials through which the object can be seen but not clearly are known as translucent object. For example, butter paper, oily patch on paper, these are the translucent materials. Okay, now look at this diagram. Okay, so this boy is capable of seeing on the other side of the material or on the other side of the object. It means this is transparent object. Okay, now see the next one. This boy is not capable of seeing on the other side of the object. It means this is the opaque object or opaque material. Now see the next one. This boy is trying to see on the other side, but he is not able to see clearly. Okay, so the object through which the things can be seen but not clearly are known as translucent objects. So it means this is translucent material. Okay, now here you need to understand is why your mother keeps spices in transparent bottles, so that she can use the spices without opening the bottles. Okay, that is why she kept the spices in transparent bottles. Similarly, in chemistry lab, all the beakers or all the test tubes are made of transparent materials, so that we can observe the change in the reaction in case of any chemical reaction. Okay, we can easily see the chemical change in case of any chemical reaction. That is why these beakers are made up of transparent objects. Why in a bakery shop you will find a transparent glass window in front, so that you can choose your favorite items only by looking at it. Okay. Do you know why the doors are made of opaque materials? So that the people from the outside cannot look into our homes. That is why the doors are usually made of opaque materials. Okay. So based on the properties of materials, it is always decided that which material is used to make which object. Okay. So now before wrapping up this chapter, one more topic is left, that is, you must have seen that in a grocery shop all things are arranged systematically so that there is no confusion, and the shopkeeper is always be able to find the things that the buyers want. But if all the things were dumped together in one place, so what will happen? The shopkeeper would never be able to find the things that the buyers want. Okay, so that is the reason that why all the things are placed systematically. Similarly, in the school library, all books are placed under different headings such as English, science, and mathematics, so that there will be no confusion, and it would be very easy for the librarian to locate them immediately. Okay, so dividing materials in groups make it convenient to study their properties and to observe any pattern in these properties. With this, we come to an end of this chapter. Thank you and see you in the next video.